do all kinds of different flavors with it. I can still taste them now. My mom said the last time she went home, they started adding alcohol, so that now they're having alcoholic chichas, so can't imagine that. Of course, Panama has its own line of beer. Interesting enough, you know how we have snow cones here, right? Condensed sweet milk is added to the ones in Panama, and then the different, and it's not just the raspberry syrup. They use real raspberry juices or strawberry juices, whatever you have. You don't get them now. Maybe today in some of the tiendas they may not have the real stuff anymore, but that's how they're made. Traditions in Panama, of course, Christmas is a big one. Most of Panama is Catholic. I think about 65% now, because we've got a lot of different melting countries that have moved in now. But Christmas, you know, the honoring of the Christ child. So I've got some pictures that I'll show you there. And then we also have the Carnival, which is pretty similar to what you do with Mardi Gras here. So it's really kind of interesting how they do. A lot of street dancing and parades. Independence Day for Panama is November 3rd. And interesting enough, I want to tell you about Fireman's Day. They have a special day for firemen because it's a very big deal. You know, you have a country when there's not a lot of rain, your fire department's really going to be top notch. But this is the day that they honor all firemen. But what ended up happening after 9/11, they moved that into September now. So it's no longer celebrated on that day. But they want to honor the people that died during 9/11. So they have a lot of different things that they do now for firemen in honor. So here's another country that really didn't have a lot to do with what happened on 9/11, but still wants to honor their own other firemen in their heart. And these are some pictures of events. Here's the Carnival or the Lent. You can see it's very colorful. You know, that's when people get all of their costumes out and start wearing them. Independence Day is a very big day. You know how we have 4th of July here? Same with that. And with the celebration, I put the Panamanian Fire Department there. Another big thing that we do, and I know some of the other countries in the Hispanic Latino world do, is we have what's called quinceañera. Now these were 2 times that my grandma Tui came from Panama when I turned 15, because that is your coming out age. That's when you become a woman, and she came all the way from Panama for that time. It was really cool because the only 2 words that lady ever knew was hungry and money. So she could tell me she's hungry and money, but the rest of everything was in Spanish. But that's a very big deal for us in Quinceañera as well. So some of the things I wanted to share from my homeland. This cookbook, you're welcome to look through. It's all in Spanish, but this belonged to my grandma. But this really relates to typical cooking in Panama. As you can see, it's been very well used. My mom's favorite thing for dessert to make was cocadas, was little coconut candy. Alonda's had some, and Mary, did I ever bring you some too? Very sweet. You only need like 1 of them, and that's all you need because they're that sweet. But my mom, she used to make them in little triangles, and she added color to them. This particular piece here is a patella. This belonged to my grandma Tui and it's been handed down. Breads, different types of foods are put on this. It's never washed, so now I just lay a napkin or something. Or my mom was always afraid that the bugs would eat it, because I guess in Panama there's a beetle that would burrow through these. You can tell, you'll be able to look at it and see that it's been handmade. So this is very precious to me. I know people look at it and go, that's a piece of wood. No, it's part of my family heritage on that. I wanted to tell you about the Panama hat, because many times you'll hear, oh, the Panama hat made in Panama. No. The Panama hat originated in Ecuador. The reason it got nicknamed the Panama hat, because they brought it through Panama to disseminate to the rest of the world. So that's the reason the Panama hat. Now they do make hats in Panama now, but in the first early days we cannot take credit for that. These are, and like I said, feel free to come and see these. This is a picture of my mom in the traditional outfit when she was very little. This is my step-grandfather that I talk about, Grandpa Tui. But her family, grandfather had his own plantation. So in my early days of my mom's life, she was in a lot of wealth. But that all changed when people passed away. but she had and the young ones in those days wore the all white polleras. So this is my mom when she was a little child. And people always said that my mom should have been movie star, and we always said, yeah, Mom, you should have been movie star. The Virgen de Guadalupe, the Virgin Mary, and that's what many Latinos will call her. Again, this is a very old piece, family piece. And the story I'll share with you, it took me a lot of years to get through college, my undergrad. It was no accident the day I graduated, December 12th, 2015. When I was born, children in those countries are given up to a saint or to the Virgin Mary or the Virgen de Guadalupe, and my mom dedicated my life to her. So December 12th is the Virgin de Guadalupe Day. That's the day I graduated. I didn't catch it until almost a month before graduation, and it hit me. It's like, oh my gosh, my mom is still around. And I have some rosaries that you can look at. If you're not familiar with the Catholics, pray the rosary. My mom was still a very devout Catholic. She had crossed over and went to some other religions because there wasn't anybody out in our area that was Catholic. So, but she still prayed even until she passed away, was still praying the rosary. Many books you'll find. Anybody recognize this book?
Yes.
Anybody know what it is in English? This has become one of my favorites, and I've been reading it to my grandson now, Carson, and trying to teach him some Spanish as well. So we try to get that. But this is something that my mom had gotten before then. So that is what I have. I would like to welcome you to come and see anything. We're going to have a raffle.
Excuse me, you're going to tell us why you did not have not gone back?
Oh, thank you, Yolanda. Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you, Yolanda. I was going to share this picture. This is my grandma and grandpa Chuy. My grandma Chelita. Her name was Wenchesala. I'm a woman of two countries like my mom. Panama claims me. So if I go home, I spend 6 to 8 weeks trying to get back to the United States. And when I went back when I was 10, it took my mom 6 weeks to get back home because of me, because I have dual citizenship. So this is the reason that it's taken me so long to get back home. But I tell you, after going through all this thing, I really got pretty hard. Paul came in, he says, "Are you all right?" I go, "Yes, I'm fine. I'm just having a homesick moment for a place I haven't been to for a long time." And since my mom's been gone, it's been really hard for me because I don't really have anybody that I talk to. Now, we had a grad student last semester, Jorge, from Chile, and that was the closest that I had to somebody to talk Spanish. And Wanda was so happy because she said it's the first time that Martha had somebody to speak to in her own language for a long time. You know, it's that close. So I was really, really happy to have somebody. But that's the reason that I haven't been home, and I still hope that I get back. I still have a lot of family there. I have people that live in the mountains. I have people that live in Panama City. I have people that live in David, Cologne. So we're spread out all over the place. If I ever get to go home, I got a lot of people that I see. But I keep track of people on Facebook, so Facebook opened up a lot of communication for me with my family there at home. So that was a big help.
Do you think it'll take you, if you did go home now, will it take you that long? It definitely will take you that long to get back in. But do you think it'll take you that long to get out of Panama?
I don't know, Wanda. That's the thing. Because, see, the thing that I have now is the only birth certificate I have is from Alcon, Panama. I don't have any official birth. They didn't do birth certificates like in those statistic papers today. So all I have is that gold seal from the hospital, and then I have a paper that shows that my mom had a live birth. So that's the only pieces of paper I have that say, hey.
Don't record that. Don't record that part. We don't